Hey TSI, it's Mr. Key here with your Truthfully Speaking moment. Are you ready to pour into yourself? Legitly. Like, we go through a lot of stuff, and we give, and we feel like we're never giving it back. Like, we're never getting it back. We're never repouring back into us. We're never having it come on the reciprocal end of things. I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. So how do you pour back into yourself? There are a few ways spiritually that we can do that on top of making it known, okay? Use your voice. Always, your voice is definitely the weapon of choice, or I will say speaking into yourself, making sure that you are affirming the things that you want and that God has promised us, right? At TSI, we have a whole affirmation now, right? So we need to start speaking that. We need to start memorizing that. That is just like back in the day when I was younger. I grew up in the church, of course, which is kind of crazy, but grew up with my grandparents taking me to church, not my parents. My parents didn't go to church. They still don't go to church. They believe in God, but they don't go to church. And then memorizing scriptures, right? I was talking to Prophet Trisha this week, and we were talking about how back in the day, we used to memorize scriptures like nothing. Like, I could definitely quote to you John 3:16. I could definitely quote to you 2 Timothy 2:15. I could definitely quote to you certain things. But now, as we've gotten older and we don't use it that often, sometimes you forget those things. But we need to go back to that. And that's one of the ways that we pour into ourselves. We remind ourselves of the promises. We remind ourselves of the things that God has said to us, or the things that God has promised us, right? So one of the things that we can do so that we don't drain ourselves and we replenish into our own selves is pray, of course. We know that even if you don't know how to pray, pray the Lord's Prayer, pray the Serenity Prayer, pray, hallowed be thy name. Like, there are ways. Sometimes I tell people the easiest way to pray is just to talk the way that you talk. And I'm not saying use the words that you use, but I'm saying, like, talk as in a conversation. Like, you're having a conversation with God. Sometimes God answers right then. Sometimes he waits. Sometimes he shows you in a vision, a dream. Somebody else comes and confirms it, okay? That happens, yes. But having a conversation with God is one of the easiest ways to start praying, right? So we have to keep ourselves prayed up, of course. Romans, I'm going to go to Romans 8. Let's go to Romans 8:26. Right? One of our good, I went to the wrong chapter. I'm like, that ain't right. I know it's more than that many scriptures in that. So Romans 8:26 reads in the New King James Version, likewise the Spirit also helps in our weaknesses, for we do not know what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit himself makes intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. God will give you what to say. God will put it on your heart. God will put it on your mind. God will put it on your tongue. And he will tell you exactly what you need to be saying and what you need to be praying, okay? But you got to believe it. Not so spiritual aspect, but therapy. Therapy works. I know a lot of times we get away from that, but therapy is one of the things that I believe in our community that we need. And not just in my community, and that's for all races and all environments. I believe that therapy does help those who are true to it. You can't go into therapy lying, though. or not admitting what's going on, or not willing to open up and talk about it, right? It's got to be something that you want. And I think that it helps in replenishing yourself. Sometimes looking at yourself and reevaluating things helps in that, or even using therapy to get over some of those past hurts and those present things that are happening. It helps, right? 3, get away, vacation if you can. Go to a peaceful place. Sometimes you can't get away and you can't vacation, or you don't have the funds or the means to do that. I take rides down by the water. I go and sit by the water. I go to parks and sit. I take a car ride sometimes in silence, sometimes in music, or I go to a live session of music, because I love music. So that's one of the ways that God speaks to me, is through music. I love it. But finding a space where you can be yourself and let your hair down and really, really commune with him, or think about the prayers, or journal, or read, or just something that you can do that brings you peace, that will help pour into you, right? And then, of course, studying is always one of those things. And 2 Timothy 2:15 says, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needed not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But you gotta read and study and take it in, and really, really, really divide the word, or really, really decipher what the word is saying to you and into your spirit, okay? And I'm not saying that you won't get unbalanced, but in the cases where you have those questions about the scripture, make sure you talk to your pastor, talk to whoever you trust and believe will help you to really give you understanding of that word. Pray and ask God to give you understanding of the word. All of those things work, right? So know who you are. That's a way of making sure that you get what you need. Know who you are and know whose you are, okay? God will always be there to assist in that. But don't forget to don't forget to pour into yourself, because you need it. You deserve it. You need it. And we love it. Okay. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I pray that this helps you in some way. You can always comment on any of our videos, or pray. Not pray. I'm sorry. Comment on any of our videos. We comment back. Also, you can email us, you can DM us, but you can email us at weartsiministries@gmail.com. As always, we are here 7 days a week, 24/7. All right, we'll see you soon.